Welcome back to our channel, where we share updates and untold stories about Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her royal family. Today, we bring you some news. King Charles's surprising announcement left William and Catherine in tears. The source said that the last will of King Charles left many members of the royal family in a state of shock, and they questioned the need for King Charles to make these wills given that he is still attempting to participate in a great deal of royal engagements. Where does the true truth lie hidden? It has been reported that King Charles, together with his wife, Queen Camilla, provided an unexpected update on his disease when they were out together. According to a source with knowledge of the matter, King Charles has expressed his desire to participate in as many royal engagements as possible. He has expressed remorse that his reign has been filled with negative circumstances for the royal family and has suffered from health issues as well as a breach with his second son and his younger brother, Prince Andrew. In a move that went against centuries of royal caution, King Charles III made his first personal public statements about his cancer treatment on May 14, 2025, when he was attending a garden party at Buckingham Palace. While leaning on his cane and basking in the warmth of the spring weather, the monarch, who was 76 years old at the time, had an unscripted chat with Stamford Collis, who was 22 years old and enduring his own cancer treatment. "It's usually about your eating habits and what food you consume," the king said in an open and honest manner about the mental and physical toll that the program had on him. He also underlined the importance of nutrition. His tone was friendly and honest as he confided, "It can be of assistance." This moment was unique for a royal institution that has historically kept topics pertaining to personal health locked away behind the gates of the palace. Not only did it represent the first time that a sitting British king had publicly recognized his sickness in such personal terms, but it also helped to humanize the sovereign in the perspective of a country. During the latter part of the same week, King Charles and Queen Camilla were seen attending another gathering at the palace, where they were seen mixing with supporters in a friendly manner, their laughing blending in with the overall buzz of talk. The readiness of the king to swap cancer stories with other cancer patients and caregivers was recorded in the headlines, highlighting the king's openness to show unity rather than solemnity. The event was seen by royal analysts as a significant turning point in Charles's reign. Following many months of terse official declarations, the king was now opting for openness rather than reluctance. Through his candid discussion of his treatment and prognosis, Charles recognized not only his own mortality, but also his connection to the millions of people in the United Kingdom who are afflicted with cancer on an annual basis. This newfound honesty extended to a highly personal written letter that Charles issued on April 30, 2025, in preparation for a banquet at Buckingham Palace that was held in honor of cancer organizations. It was in this document that he pondered how the moment he was given a diagnosis, he went from being a remote icon to being one of the statistics of the 390,000 yearly cancer cases that occur in Britain. These two revelations, a light-hearted conversation at an outdoor gathering and a serious written tribute, create a unique, composite portrayal of a monarch handling personal difficulties while being scrutinized by the public. In addition to this, they lay the groundwork for more profound disclosures about the king's interests and his personal aspirations for the next generation of the crown. In the months that followed these revelations, stories surfaced concerning Charles's dying wish about the succession, which shed light on how he saw the course that the monarchy would take when he is no longer alive. It is instructive to track the timing of this health journey from the original operation to the king's current situation as he resumes his obligations with renewed desire in order to have a comprehensive understanding of the influence that this trip has had on his health. From an uncomplicated operation to the diagnosis of cancer in January and February of 2024, In January of 2024, the king went through an operation that had been scheduled to treat an enlarged prostate, which was a benign ailment that had in the beginning caused no cause for concern. Medical professionals from the palace gave the public their word that there was no indication of cancer in the prostate itself. On the other hand, further examinations led to the discovery of a distinct cancer that was unconnected to the prostate. On February 5th, 2024, Buckingham Palace made the announcement that Charles had been diagnosed with cancer that was discovered during his treatment for his prostate. However, it was important to note that the cancer was not prostate cancer. The lack of clarity regarding the specific type of cancer helped fuel speculation, but palace spokespersons emphasized that it had been detected at an early stage. Thankfully, the tumor has been caught early, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak told the BBC, reflecting the little information that was available. This was an unusual instance of public reassurance. It was confirmed in a statement released by the palace on February 6th that Charles would be undergoing a schedule of regular treatments and would temporarily step back from tasks that involve public interaction. The statement was credited to the king's physician. While he would continue to do his basic tasks, such as reviewing government documents and meeting with ministers, he would delay his ceremonial responsibilities until he received a medical clearance. The announcement came as a surprise to a country that was still grieving the loss of Queen Elizabeth II, who had passed away 18 months previously. The front pages were filled with headlines that expressed worry and compassion. Residents of Buckingham Palace voiced their combined support and worry outside of the historic building. According to a Londoner who spoke to reporters, "It's a horrible shock. We're all hoping he pulls through." In an uncommon effort toward openness, the palace stated that the king had personally informed his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, before the public declaration. It was said that William, the presumed successor, was in regular contact with Charles, while Prince Harry, who was reportedly sick, secretly traveled from California to Clarence House to pay a visit to his father. During a limited period of time, the severity of Charles's condition overshadowed the conflicts that existed inside the palace, bringing the royal family closer together behind their president. Managing treatment and visibility. During the months of February and March 2024, without delay, Charles started attending outpatient treatment sessions. For the purpose of receiving chemotherapy and other treatments linked to the condition, he moved back and forth between Buckingham Palace, Clarence House, Sandringham, and the London Clinic, which was the location of his previous prostate surgery. A generally upbeat and optimistic public tone was maintained by the king. He expressed his gratitude to those who had given words of support in a statement that was released on February 10, 2024. He referred to the supportive letters as the greatest comfort and encouragement for anybody, including himself, who was impacted by cancer. As the month of March 2024 progressed, the king's public engagements gradually decreased. As a result of his absence from the Commonwealth Day ceremony, William was expected to offer words on his behalf. For the purpose of being at Charles's side, Camilla also decreased the number of engagements she had scheduled, although she did keep some of them. She created history on March 28th, when she represented the sovereign at the Royal Maundy ceremony held in Westminster Abbey. This was a position that had never been undertaken by a consort before. Through the picture of Camilla giving Maundy coins, the monarchy's will to persevere in the face of hardship was brought to light, demonstrating the harmonious combination of continuity and compassion. Behind the scenes, there were not many modifications to the palace, but they were noteworthy. Following the occurrence of a very modest treatment-related problem, the king made a short visit to the London Clinic somewhere at the end of March. Rapid medical attention was provided to him, and he was back at home in a matter of days. Courtiers saw improvements during the month of April, which prepared the door for restricted public appearances by the end of April 2024, which was precisely 3 months after his diagnosis. These careful trips, which included short walkabouts and minor investments, indicated that I was making steady progress in my rehabilitation. Camilla made a public statement stating that Charles was doing extremely well, which in turn reinforced the media's optimism that the king was making progress in his recovery. Resumption of duty and ongoing management over the summer and autumn of 2024. By the summer of 2024, Charles had resumed a routine that was more demanding. While continuing his treatment, he presided over investitures, went to military parades, and met with visiting dignitaries. All of these activities took place simultaneously. Camilla paid a visit to the Dyson Cancer Center in Bath in September 2024. When asked about her husband's health, she responded with a reassuring smile and a straightforward report: "He is doing very well." A month earlier, Charles had quietly disclosed to a well-wisher during a charity visit to the Northwest that he had temporarily lost his sense of taste. This candid detail made headlines due to the fact that it was so humanizing. In this context, the king made advantage of his privileged position to educate and train the next generation. On the 23rd of April, 2024, St. On the occasion of George's Day and his 75th birthday, Charles appointed Catherine, Princess of Wales, his daughter-in-law, to the position of Royal Companion of the Order of the Companions of Honor. He also bestowed upon Prince William the position of Great Master of the Order of the Bath. It was perceived by analysts that these accolades were gestures that ensured William and Catherine would be able to effectively manage the crown when the time really arrived. Sally Bedell Smith, a writer on royal affairs, made the observation that Charles's decision highlighted the tremendous faith he has in Catherine, whom he is said to consider as the daughter he never had. The year 2025, the beginning of a new era of openness and lasting desires. On the cusp of the year 2025, Charles celebrated his first year of life despite having cancer. It was an indication that he felt healthy enough to preside over these significant ceremonies because he personally held investitures at Buckingham Palace at the beginning of February. Therapy, on the other hand, remained as a managed condition, with maintenance treatments and frequent checkups set for the foreseeable future. The event that would come to characterize Charles's health story occurred in the spring of 2025. It was the open chat that took place at a garden party with Stamford Collis on May 14th, and it was the sincere written statement that was issued for cancer organizations on April 30th. In addition to Camilla's subtle updates, the king's infrequent personal revelations were observed by observers as contributing to the construction of a narrative that emphasized vulnerability, perseverance, and togetherness. The considerate management that Queen Camilla exercised over Charles during this time period contributed to the enhancement of his public image, exemplifying a relationship that is founded on loyalty and mutual support. Rumors circulated in the media about Charles's final wishes for the future of the monarchy, which emerged during these public occasions. As stated by several individuals with knowledge of the situation, Charles has reportedly voiced a dying wish that Catherine be plainly acknowledged as the Queen upon William's ascension to the throne. This request is reminiscent of Queen Elizabeth II's public approval of Camilla's appointment to the position of Queen Consort in 2022, which resolved a route that was previously plagued with controversy. It is believed that Princess Anne, the king's sister, secretly communicated this request to William, who was allegedly brought to tears by his father's display of faith in his wife. Some sources say that Princess Anne did this. In spite of the fact that Buckingham Palace has declined to confirm private family conversations, observers point to Charles's actions as evidence of his intention to ensure a smooth succession. These actions include bestowing honors, praising Catherine's courage during her own cancer treatment, and involving William and Catherine in high-level briefings. The results of public opinion surveys provide credence to this viewpoint. In April 2024, YouGov reported a 76% approval rating for Catherine, which was higher than William's 73% rating. The presence of such support bolsters Charles's wish to see his future queen consort being completely accepted. The Prince of Wales and the Princess of Wales, a personal account of their struggles and victories. William's personal and governmental obligations were both put to the test throughout the course of the last year. He referred to the year 2024 as the hardest year of his life, as he had to deal with the diagnosis of his father in February and the disclosure of his wife in March. Additionally, Princess Catherine's cancer was detected during a preventive operation. Catherine's video declaration, which she made on March 22nd, and in which she discussed the complex, scary, and unpredictable nature of her treatment, reverberated throughout the country and mirrored a shared culture of transparency that had started with the king's admissions. William managed to strike a balance between his own agony and his public responsibility by withdrawing from some engagements in order to protect his young family, which included Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, while still ensuring that essential state tasks were carried out. In an interview that took place in South Africa in November 2024, he lauded the tenacity of his father and wife, openly acknowledging that their fortitude served as a source of motivation for him. After Catherine finished her chemotherapy treatment in September 2024, William publicly hailed her recovery, and onlookers noticed that she had a lighter and more relaxed attitude during the process. At the beginning of the year 2025, William's remarks showed a fresh seriousness. He expressed gratitude to the general public for their support through the joys and challenges of the past year, and he emphasized the importance of maintaining momentum because you've got to keep going. With the assistance of Princess Anne, who was appointed as a counselor of state, William was able to find both guidance and active support, which enabled him to concentrate on his family when it was necessary. This ensured that the functions of the monarchy continued without interruption. The steadfast liaison of the monarchy is none other than Princess Anne. Throughout the whole process, Princess Anne served as a source of continuity and guidance, standing alongside her brother and nephew. After being promoted to the position of Counselor of State in the latter half of 2022, she managed investitures and regional trips with ease, while Charles was receiving treatment. In private, she acted as a mediator for family debates over titles and succession. In February of 2024, she was responsible for orchestrating Prince Harry's low-key visit to Sandringham, which ensured that the father and son were able to spend time together away from the attention of the media. Anne's personal resiliency, which was shown by her speedy return to duty after a riding accident in June 2024, contributed to the strengthening of her image as the monarchy's unflinching workhorse. Despite the unparalleled personal struggles that its key people were going through, her presence provided the public with the reassurance that the institution would continue to be rooted in duty and tradition. A response from the nation and the prospects for the monarchy. There was an outpouring of compassion from the people of Britain in response to the king's diagnosis. Flowers, notes, and prayers came on the scene in numbers. The colorful words on the more than 7,000 cards that were presented to Buckingham Palace were included in the red boxes that were given to the king on a daily basis so that he could read them. Video recordings that were made public by the palace showed Prince Charles smiling in the midst of the shows of love. His laughing at the cheeky cards reflected a monarch who was buoyed by the support of his people. Surveys indicated that the public's fondness for the crown increased as a result of this vulnerability. Charles had a score of 63% from the Ipsos, while Catherine received a score of 76%. Charities that work to combat cancer have attributed increased contributions and greater awareness to the royal family's willingness to be transparent. During this time, discussions on long-term succession planning were taking place. As a result of comparisons to the abdication of Queen Margrethe II of Denmark in January 2024, discussions surfaced over the possibility that Charles would one day follow in her footsteps. Constitutional experts emphasize that British law allows for regency rather than abdication, and palace officials reaffirmed that Charles had no intention of stepping down from his position. Late in the month of April 2025, when the king was in Italy on a state visit with Camilla, he engaged himself in diplomatic engagements and even made time for a short private anniversary retreat, maybe on the recommendation of a physician. A heightened emphasis on mentoring William and Catherine, including their participation in strategic meetings and foreign briefings, was seen by those with knowledge of the situation. According to the observation of one of the aides, the king is aware that the clock is ticking, and he desires that the transition upon its arrival be as seamless as possible. During the course of these months, the monarchy has emerged from the crisis with a restored sense of unity, intent, and confidence from the general public. With strong support from Queen Camilla and Princess Anne, King Charles continues to strike a balance between his duties and his treatment of the people. After going through their own struggles, William and Catherine are now in a position to serve as role models for the next generation. The narrative of Charles's health, which was previously a private matter, has become an unexpected catalyst for royal openness and a reaffirmation of the link that the crown has with its citizens. In a recent speech that he gave at a charity event for cancer, Charles summed up this trip in straightforward words, saying, "We as a family have been through a difficult time, just as many families have. The experience has only strengthened our bond with each other and with all of you." As Britain watches this chapter unfold, the king's unguarded reflections and final wishes cast a defining light on his legacy. A sovereign who faced mortality with courage, who prioritized family and duty, and who sought to ensure the monarchy's future was in capable, compassionate hands. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts, and goodbye for now.